In today's episode of the Pathway Presents podcast, I have an interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Eilbhe Kennedy, and she's hailing over as the marketing and communications manager over at Jambo. And Jambo is, as you could, read about it on the website as well, the fastest and easiest stakeholder engagement and consultation software. And today we're going to be learning, number one, what that means. But, as you know it from the show, guys, how we really digging into the inbound and growth strategies. So we're going to, learn about how Eilbhe is thinking about growth for Jambo, and then, go into our rapid fire questions as we know it. So guys, let's get started. Eilbhe, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thanks, Lucas, for having me. I'm excited.
Very good. Yeah, maybe give us, a 360 overview. What is Jambo all about?
For sure. So Jambo is a cloud-based stakeholder relationship management software, or SRM for short. It's a SaaS solution for managing all of your stakeholder information, your stakeholder engagement data, and then anything to do with your stakeholder relationships. So teams would use it to log, track, and report on things like stakeholder contact information, communications with stakeholders, stakeholder issues, and commitments.
Very good. Okay, that gives us, an interesting insight of what you guys are doing now. Tell us a little bit what types of companies are using those. What is, which industries, sizing, like what is a typical client that, benefits the most from Jambo?
Yeah, I think really anyone running or planning to run a stakeholder engagement program, or anyone with many stakeholder relationships that they need to stay on top of and understand, would be the main users of Jambo. But a wide range of industries. I actually think when we were starting out, we really underestimated the amount of industries that would be looking for a software solution like ours. And that might be a commonality amongst kind of startup companies. You kind of have this idea in your head of what it's going to be, and then it really exploded. Stakeholder engagement is a growing industry. So just give people a bit of background, obviously, everyone has the ability to have their opinions heard, positive or negative, to a mass audience. We've got social media, and things can go viral. So organizations are realizing more and more the importance of managing their relationships with stakeholders earlier rather than later, working to build and improve them. So anyone that's kind of, working with stakeholders would use Jambo. I'd say our top leads are coming from government of all levels. So you've got your federal, provincial, or state if you're talking about the US, and then over in Europe, it's more county level, then municipal and local, which is cities and towns. A lot of health organizations are reaching out and need to use stakeholder engagement software, and resource management companies. So that's kind of more typical of, that it would be running stakeholder engagement programs. So anyone taking anything off the land, like forestry, oil and gas, mining, those type of companies, would be our main areas of interest. But like I said, we're seeing uptake across the board. Sustainability certification, companies trying to implement ESG programs, they are seeing the importance of adding their engagement activities to those type of reports or certification applications. So using a software like Jambo that helps them manage that data and report on data without having to kind of dig through emails and notes and spreadsheets, they would be kind of like the main audiences or main users of Jambo.
Cool. And what would you say, like in terms of the actual roles, like, who is, because you mentioned can be many stakeholders, but also many different roles can run stakeholder programs. Like who is sort of typically reaching out?
Gosh, like most people, it really varies depending on the size of the organization. So, if it's a smaller organization, it could be, vice presidents, directors, those sort of people. And then the bigger organization, so we're seeing kind of the end users reach out. They are the people that are having the problem. They are trying to manage the data. They're trying to engage with stakeholders, and they need a better way of doing it. And they're looking for a tool, and they're finding Jambo. So, engagement practitioners or consultation specialists, consultants. There's no one size fits all with the job title. I have really noticed that, because as a marketer, you're trying to target audiences on, say, LinkedIn or something like that. And it's like, pick the job role that fits, and then there's literally no one job role that's the same. Relations, stakeholder relations, community relations, A lot in Canada in particular, Indigenous relations is a huge thing. So same in Australia. So people with that kind of job title, they're managing Indigenous community conversations. It's wide and varied.
Cool. So how do these folks, hear about Jambo? Like, what would you say sort of the key client acquisition channels that you guys are leveraging?
Yeah, I would say currently over 80% of our business is from inbound marketing activities. So organic search, our click-through rate is very high thanks to content marketing initiatives that we've focused on in the past and continue to focus on, and then SEO improvements we've been making to our website. I guess pre-COVID, we were attending industry events and going out and meeting with people directly. So we were, people were finding us that way. But, luckily, even before COVID, we had focused on creating the Jambo website into an inbound marketing machine, as I like to say, by focusing on helpful content that's relevant to the industry, thought leadership content with in partnership with experts. So we reached out to a lot of people that work in stakeholder engagement and develop content with them. So that sort of content has developed it's ranking quite high, and we're getting a lot of click through from that. So, going forward, I continue to see customers finding us through inbound organically online, but we're also going to focus on some outbound tactics. We're growing our sales team, and as the world opens up, hopefully we can start going back to events, industry type events. And it's also interesting now, we've been live for a number of years, so we're starting to see customer referrals happen, as a source of lead gen, and hopefully that will continue to grow as well.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
How do you think about the website? In what role do you feel it plays in the overall, journey that people are going through in order to get started with Jambo?
Yeah, like the website is everything. And it's so funny listening to your podcasts and marketers in general. Every single person says, I want a new website. Our website is great, but I want a new website. As a marketer, once your website's a year old, you want a new one, right? Our website is intended to be helpful. So we're a helpful brand. We don't ever want to sell to anyone until they're ready to be sold to. So focusing on content that's helpful, educational, helps people understand what SRM is and what it isn't, because, there's nothing worse than generating a lot of unqualified leads. So the website is, really trying to help people understand what our software does and what it doesn't do, so that, anyone who comes to it can kind of figure out if it's a fit or not, and doesn't have to reach out to sales until they're, ready to do that. So we have a lot of downloadable resources. We have a lot of blogs. And then, we have some video for 2022 is a big thing for me. I think video really helps people qualify themselves as well. So implementing that into our website will be a focus for 2022. But as a whole, the website is really inbound focused. There's a lot of forms and, lead gen opportunities, a lot of click through our call to action, types of assets on our website, so that people can get what they need as they need it, and then follow through to sales when they're ready.
I always love to ask sort of marketers, because you mentioned marketers always want a new website. Maybe where do you see sort of, what is it? Where's the space for improvement? Like, what do you feel, something that you would like to, upgrade or improve on the website?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone wants a perfect website, and there's no such thing as perfect, but I think there's room to improve. Maybe just the overall look and feel. I think make it a little bit cleaner, simplify it. As I said, we're a helpful brand, and we're trying to simplify everything that we do. Our end product simplifies stakeholder relationship management for people. So our website should kind of simplify the process of determining if the tool is the right fit for them. So just, I think cleaning it up, making it flow even better is always something that I want to do, and continue. Like it's always a work in progress, right? Like if you're creating a website and it's done, then you're doing it wrong, right? So
very good.
yeah,
Is there,
always working on.
sorry.
Sorry.
Is there some on that exactly what you were just saying there? Is there something that you've picked up over the years as a marketer, like any maybe tools, methods, approaches on how to figure out why people do or do not convert on the website?
Yeah, that's the question that we always want to know. We do buy, like, tech is really important to us as a SaaS company. We are a tech company, so tech is important. Marketing automation is a big part of what we do. Having the ability to be able to plug into the back end and look at the analytics. So we do use software to do that. But I'm always looking for, the next big tool. I think as a startup SaaS, we're small, can't buy everything, which is always hard as a marketer. You want all the nice tools and you can't necessarily afford them all. So doing a lot of research and trying to figure out which ones will work going forward. So yeah, always interested to kind of look at those types of tools. But currently for us, marketing automation, analytics, as a marketer as well, I think tech, you sometimes forget about the creative tech. As a brand, we're colorful, we're helpful, we're trying to simplify things. So having the ability to be able to create consistent brand imagery and downloadable content is super important. So we put a big focus on our creative tech as well.
Very cool. I want to switch gears a little bit and learn more about yourself, right? So I have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the last book you read or the last podcast you listened to?
Oh, okay. Well, I listen to a number of podcasts, but books would be easier to say the last one I did. I always have like a self-help business book on the go. And then I always like to have a fictional book as well, when you're like, depending on what mood you're in. So the last book I read was Atomic Habits by James Clear, I believe, which I'd give like a 7 out of 10. And then I read The Weekend Away by Sarah Alderson, which I believe they're making into a Netflix movie. So it was a really good, fun fiction book. 8 out of 10.
Nice, very good. What's one thing I think your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Focus on the most. Well, we're going into 2022, so we're doing a lot of 2022 planning and better lead nurturing, video creation, as I mentioned, like helpful short video. It would be big, more helpful downloadable content. And like I said, and everyone else says, a new website.
If there would be no boundaries in tech, what's the one thing you would fix for your role? So everything is possible. What would you fix for your role?
I'm going to keep it simple. And I'm going to say, knowing every single search term used by people that organically visit our website. I constantly see unknown keyword in the search term history, and I'm like, maybe there's a tech that does that and no one has told me about it. So if it exists, someone like reach out to me on Twitter or something. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but that would be the dream if there were no limits, like instantly know what brought them to our website.
Very good. And if we would go a bit back in time, we get back to the times of the Institute of Technology in Carlo, right? So a bit of time travel. So now the question is, you're heading off into your career, right? You've been in interesting roles along the journey. And now I'm curious, what's the one advice you would give yourself for your career?
Oh gosh, there's so many things, but I think I should answer it specific to what I would tell myself if I was starting at Jambo, or just, starting new on a small marketing team, which I think a lot of people kind of start their career with. I would say for me, focus on the brand as a whole. Like I wish I could go back and create the brand identity and the brand voice right at the very beginning, and make sure that was used consistently in everything that we do, like with sales, product, marketing, and then customer success as well, like across the board. It's much easier to do that at the very beginning. And we obviously do it now, but I wish I could go back time and do that right from the very beginning. Memorable brand identity is huge in marketing. It's going to be in everything that you do. So yeah, do it right at the very beginning and hire a graphic designer or outsource graphic design. Make everything nice and clean. You will not regret it.
Very cool. Eilbhe, I really appreciate you took the time with us to be a guest on Pathmark Presents. I want to give you the last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about Jambo today, what's the one thing that they should remember?
I would say if you're working on stakeholder engagement projects or you have a lot of stakeholders that you need to understand and improve your relationships with, that there is software that exists that can help you. It's called Jambo. So visit our website, take a look, download some of our content and attend a group demo or a private demo. It is the best software solution for managing everything to do with stakeholders, and we want to show you why.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmark Presents.
Thank you, Lucas.